Hello everyone. Today we're going to see a topic, his first flight, the two stories about flying. The book got its name from this very story. Okay. So the the first story, his first flight, which was written by Liam O. Flaherty. And then at first we'll see a brief summary about it. His first flight by Liam O. Flaherty is an inspiring story about overcoming fear and gaining confidence. That's a very, the very key of this whole story about. Through experience. The story revolves around a young seagull who is afraid to take his first flight. Despite encouragement from his family, he hesitates, fearing he might fall into the sea. His siblings have already learned to fly, leaving him alone on the ledge, hungry and desolate. Eventually, hunger drives him to take action. So here, as you could see, a story of young seagull who is in a practice of learning how to fly his first flight. So usually, I have read in one of a book that the eagles will make their, the baby eagles to train the eagles. In a way, they just put the baby eagles from the top, from the summit of a mountain, and then when they just push them away from that, and then when they just go and then near to hit the ground, to underneath the ground, they just go and grab the eagles. That's how they learn how to fly. So here as well, you could see it was given in a farce way, an exaggerate way, that the young seagull who really hesitant to go towards it and then fly. Why? Because he's thinking that what if I might get hurt. Okay, but even though his brothers, his siblings started to fly, and then they just left him alone and isolate in a place, and hungerness made him to go eagerly to learn how to fly. Okay, and then when he sees his mother holding a fish and refused to feed him, he instinctively leaped towards her. As he plunges forward, his wings spread naturally and he starts flying. So you could see his, the seagull's mother, she's actually holding a fish, a good piece of fish, but she's refused to feed him. Why? Because she really wants him to learn how to fly. When that really made him to leap towards her, and then naturally, automatically, he started to fly. He started to fly, and then he learned. His newfound confidence empowers him to glide effortlessly and join his family in the sky. The story conveys the message that facing fear is essential for personal growth, and that courage comes from taking the first step. So this is such a wonderful quote they've given, that facing fear is essential. When you want to do something new, for sure you will face a fearful situation, but it also very important to take the first step. Okay. Yeah, the very theme of this lesson, courage and overcoming fear. You should have a courage, and also you should overcome a fear. The story highlights the importance of facing one's fear and taking that first step towards independence. This story shows and highlights how to have a courage, and then you should also have a first step to achieve that independence, towards the independence. Because when you're dependent so much on the people, you don't feel that independence and freedom. Only thing is, you have to take the first step courageously, and then and also to overcome fear. And then family support. You could see the family support of Seagull. His whole brother, all his brother and his parents are ready to support him so much that really made him to go forward and achieve the first flight. Self-reliance and growth. The young seagull's journey symbolizes the development of self-confidence and independence. He really made himself as a self-reliance. He depended on him own self, and that really leads him towards growth. Okay, next one, character analysis. Young seagull, fearful. It shows, at first he was very hesitant to take a first step. It shows his fearfulness. Initially scared to fly and hesitant to take risk. And then he was also dependent, relies on parents and siblings for food. At first he was so fearful and also very dependent. When he took his first step in overcoming the fear and having the courage towards it, he just smelled the freedom, and then he comes to know how to have a life independently. Okay, so the second one, about the parents caring but firm. Push their child towards independence, encouraging, strategically teach the young seagull through hunger and examples. The parents really made him to have a courage, and only through experiences you can achieve something good. Siblings, confident and skilled, contrasting with the young seagull's fearfulness. So they are actually confident and skilled, only because of that they started to fly. So they really made his brother to know about it, and they encouraged him to come out of fear and have a courage to fly on. Next one, key events. The young seagull hesitated to fly, fearing failure. He thought, what if I might fall and then get hurt? So that really shows his hesitant towards something. His siblings fly confidently, leaving him behind. Parents offer encouragement but refuse to feed him, forcing him to act. They really want him to put some action into it so that he learn how to fly. And hunger drives the seagull to die for food, leading to his first flight. Also one of the reason is due to hungerness, he made himself stand firm and then go towards that, face the challenge. The seagull realized his potential and experience freedom. At last, he realized his potential, that he can do this, and then at last he just achieved that freedom. Symbolism. First one, flight. It represents the self-discovery, courage, and independence. It shows how to be self-independent, and it teaches you the courage, and also and just knowing you about your own self-discovery. Hunger symbolizes motivation and necessity, driving action. It always, hunger really made him to motivate to go forward and achieve that. Next one, sea. Sea reflects vast opportunities and challenges awaiting those who take risk. So here the sea represents about the challenges and opportunity. There must be a vast opportunity and challenges in the place, but the thing is you have to take risk courageously to attain your first step. And then important quotes such as, he felt certain that his wings would never support him. This reflects the seagull's initial self-doubt. At first, when he thought of going forward, but he himself had a self-doubt about his own self, what if he might fell down. So, and then second one, he was starving. He could feel the heat from his belly. Shows how necessity forced him to overcome fear. When he was starving, he could feel the hungerness. It just made his belly to to experience the heat. So that really made him to forcefully made him to achieve the role. And then next one, he was no longer afraid, marks the turning point of self-realization. At last, when he took his first step, it just made him to go beyond, and then he started to fly. So that really makes him to have, that's the very turning point towards self-realization. And the very next subtitle, main ideas. Facing fear. Fear of failure often holds individual back, but necessity can drive action. When you have a fear, that it always makes you to hold back, just like the seagull got. When he had the fear, it really made him to hold back. But when the necessity came, the necessity of having food, when he really want to have food, why? Because his belly is already crying. So he just moved forward to have that. So only because of that, you have to face fear and courageously overcome that. So that's the very main idea. Parental guidance. Parents may use tough love to help their children grow. Sometimes the parents will be using a tough love. It will be hard for the children to understand. Sometimes they see, it might have taught that what kind of parents they are. They really want me to suffer. But the tough love really made him to have a independence on his own. And then independence, true growth comes from self-reliance. So true growth will always comes from self-reliance. That will make you an independent person. So these are the question bank from 2024 board exam. Questions like briefly bring out the construct between the young seagull's initial attempts to fly and his first successful flight. It shows the contrast in flight attempts, that how he started to go towards and achieve that. And then the 2023 board exam, the questions like, how did the seagull get over his fear of water? Have he overcome his fear out of, agony and disguise? He was having so much of emotion inside him. He was thinking that what if I might fall? So here it just overcoming his fear out of, just thinking out of all such things. And then 2022 board exam, the questions like, how did the seagull's family react when he made his first flight? The family's reaction when he just made his first flight, the whole family, they just encouraged him and celebrated him for his first success. So these are the very important questions of 3 marks that asked in these set of years. Okay, in the same first flight, we have part 1 and part 2 about the flying. The second story is about the black aeroplane. It is written by Frederick. So here you could see a brief summary about the black aeroplane. A Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth is a suspenseful story that revolves around a mysterious and miraculous event explained by the narrator. So here this story involves a divine intervention. You could see that, it shows a mysterious way how he just went through that heavy storm while he was flying, and then what are the experiences he went through. And the narrator, a pilot, is flying his Decoto aeroplane from France to England at night. It's very important, just mention all this when you're writing your question answer summary. Decoto aeroplane from France to England at night. The sky is very clear. At first the sky was very clear, and then he is excited to reunite with his family. His eagerness to meet his family made him to do that in spite of the heavy storm. However, as he approached the English Channel, he encountered a massive storm. When he comes to have a switch with the channel, he comes to know that there might be he might be encountered with a heavy massive storm. With the limited fuel and no way to turn back, he is consumed by fear and uncertainty. Just as the situation seems hopeless, a black aeroplane appears beside him. So here there comes a turning point of the story, the very heart of the story. When he was filled with confusion and fear that what if he might die, he discovered the black aeroplane. It was very mysterious in that place, and then he just saw that it just appeared beside him. The pilot of this mysterious plane gesture for him to follow, guiding him through the storm. So here, the black aeroplane came, and then he couldn't see the pilot. It was a little strange, but the pilot of that aeroplane, he's guiding him towards to find the path through the storm, the heavy storm. Danger. The narrator looks round, but the black aeroplane has vanished. Upon landing, he inquires about the other planes, but the control tower staff inform him that no other aircraft was in the sky that night. The story ends on a mysterious note, leaving readers to ponder the identity of the black aeroplane and its pilot. It highlights the theme of faith, mystery, and unexplained. So, the conclusion, you could see that when he just land on the place, the black aeroplane just vanished. He couldn't see the pilot, and not even the whole thing which happened, the pilot who directed him through that heavy storm. So it was very mysterious, and then he might have thought it might be a divine power, that God might be protecting him, came as in a human form to help him. So at last it highlights the theme of faith, that his faith towards the divine power and mystery and the unexplained thing. It was like very mysterious way it just ended. The theme, the mysterious and adventure. The story centers on an unexplained experience during that flight. So it shows the mystery on the adventure. It was just concluded in a mysterious way. Faith and guidance, trusting unknown forces to navigate challenges. Having faith in divine power will always make you to see miracles in life. So that shows the faith and guidance. Dream and reality. A blend of real life experiences with element of surreal. So at last it is like it's a kind of a dream, but it's happened in a real life. So it's like a kind of dream and also reality, shows the dream and reality. Next one, the character analysis. The narrator is nothing but the pilot. Adventurous, take risk by flying through a storm. Faithful, trust the mysterious black aeroplane for guidance. And reflective, left pondering the mysteries of his experience. So the pilot really, he has a adventurous trip. It mingled with faithfulness and reflectiveness, and then at last he comes to know that someone have helped him, so that really make him to kindle his faith towards divine forces. Okay, next one, key events. The narrator decides to fly from Paris to England despite bad weather. Why? Because he really wants to see his family, desperate to see his family. Encounter a severe storm, losing control and navigation. When he encountered the severe storm, he just, all the navigation compass and everything just got destroyed, and then he couldn't find the right way. A mysterious black aeroplane appeared and guides him to safety. At last, the mysterious aeroplane just came and guides him towards the destination. The narrator lands safely but finds no trace of other planes. At last, he couldn't find anything. It just remained mysterious. Symbolism. The black aeroplane represents the symbolism, the theme, the very idea of the lesson. It shows the black aeroplane represents hope, faith and divine guidance in difficulties. When you have a time of difficult times, when you're going through that, you should always have a hope, faith and divine presence inside you. So storm symbolizes life's unpredictable changes. As we just read in Lencho's lesson, the nature's dual role when it comes to blessing and also adversities. So here the storm symbolizes life unpredictable challenges. Clear sky after storm represents relief and resolution after facing hardship. At last he could see a very clear sky that shows a relief and resolution after facing a very hardship. Okay, and then some of the important quotes. I'll take the risk, I thought, shows the narrator's adventure and determination nature. That he really, this statement which was said by the pilot, he said, I take the risk. A stranger black aeroplane was flying next to me when he was talking to the channel, talking to a lady in the channel. He represents these dialogues that a strange black aeroplane was flying next to me. There was no aeroplane there in the sky, adds the sense of wonder and ambiguity. So here, at last, this woman, she said, there's no trace of other aeroplanes on the sky. It's only yours. I could see through the navigation. So that really made him to have the sense of wonder. Main ideas, trust and faith. In moments of crisis, unseen forces may guide you. You should always have a trust and faith towards divine power, because it will just guides you to the right path in a time of crisis. And then decision making, taking calculated risk can lead to success. Always taking risk will takes you to success. Just the way we saw seagull, it just took its first step courageously to overcome his fear. So that really made also him, the decision making made him to achieve and leads him towards success. Mystery of life. Some experiences remain unexplained, adding depth to life's journey. Some of the incidents, some of the experience will be it will be like unexplained to the people. You can't explain how it just happened. It just add a depth into your life journey. And an important passage, the climax where the narrator follows the black aeroplane through the storm, reflects the central theme of trust in unseen forces. So here, a comparison of the two stories. So from the two stories, from seagulls and also from this black aeroplane, you can see the common theme. Both stories emphasize courage, trust during difficult situation. It's very important for a person to have courage and trust during the time of difficult situations. Okay, the very tone of this story, his first flight is more realistic and motivational, while the black aeroplane leads towards mystery and surrealism. So this shows the realism and motivation. The very first story that shows the realism and motivation, and the very second story leads us towards mystery and divine force. And then the lesson, both stories encourage readers to face fears and trust in themselves or external force. Okay, so both stories, it leaves us to have one shows the having trust on yourself, and then the second shows that having trust on divine power. Okay, the questions such as from 2024 board examination, extract based question, like I was safe, I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty, there was nothing there, the black aeroplane was gone, I could not see it anywhere. Why did the narrator want to meet the pilot of the black aeroplane? Because it was little mysterious for him, and then at the time of trouble he could see the person who just came there and then helped him it shows his very presence in the time of trouble. So that's why he really wanted to meet the pilot. So that's the very question of this extract. And second question, how did the women in the control center react to the narrator's inquiry about the other pilot? When he asked about the pilot in the black aeroplane, the women in the channel room, she got excited, and then she was in a confusion that she couldn't answer. Why? Because there was no trace of other aeroplane in the sky. Mystery of the black aeroplane. Discuss the possible explanation for the appearance of the black aeroplane. You have to explain about the mystery of that behind the black aeroplane. 2023 board examination, questions like, why did the pilot decide to fly through the storm despite knowing the risk involved? So here you have to write about the pilot's decision making, just to meet his family. Out of his love, he really wanted to meet his family on a vacation, so he just made a risk and then he did it. Theme of trust. How does the story The Black Aeroplane explore the theme of trust? So it's only because of the trust he followed the black aeroplane, the pilot, and then the way he just made through the storm. It shows the theme of trust in the lesson. And 2022 board examination, questions like, describe the narrator's feeling when he realized he was lost in the storm. It shows the narrator's emotion. What was the mixed emotion that he went through when he see that he was isolated and then completely lost in the storm. And then the very next question, what role does the black aeroplane play in the narrator's journey? Role of black aeroplane. At last, what role did the black aeroplane made in his story? That's the you have to write the very heart of the story. So these are the 3 marks and 6 marks from this very chapter. Next topic, we are going to move on, A Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur. This was a story from the book Footprints Without Feet. It's a supplementary one. So at first we'll start with the plot summary. The story revolves around Osable. Osable is the main protagonist of the story, a secret agent. You know, you have to know about him. He's a secret agent, and his encounter with a rival spy, Max. The story begins with Osable describing as an unassuming and unconventional spy entertaining a guest, Fowler, in his room at the hotel. Fowler expects thrilling stories of acting secretly, but is disappointed by Osable's Monday appearance and behavior. However, the night takes an exciting turn when Max, a rival spy, sneaks into Osable's room to steal a confidential report. So here, you could see that this Osable is he's a secret agent, and then when you have this thought about secret agent, you will have a set of the characteristics and the way they look and all that. They must be looking like a with a very proper and formal dress, with a kind of specs and a cap and all that. You might be having a vivid description about the person, but here you could see that Osable was not that exact the person who looks just like a spy, like an agent, like a secret agent. And then when he was actually in a hotel, and then telling Fowler is the one who's listening to all his, the things that he did secret as a secret agent. And then he could see him, and then he was actually giving a kind of, by looking his appearance, he is having a set of mind that he is not uh, a proper kind of secret agent. So the very night, the exciting thing, it just made a turnover when Max, he's a rival spy, he came there to steal Ossible's one of his confidential report. So this spy, he just sneak peek inside his hotel room of Ossible, and then to get the report back. Okay, Ossible clearly uses his wit and presence of mind to outsmart Max by deceptive way, and the story about non-existent balcony outside his window. Believing Ossible's story, Max tried to escape through the balcony and meets his end, as there is no balcony, and he fall to his death. So at the conclusion of the story, you could see when this Max just sneak peeked inside Ossible's room. He was telling about, oh, you might have come from the very balcony. I have already told to the hotel managers that you're not supposed to keep balcony here, so that the people will climb and come up. But that was not the real case how Max came into that room. But when he come to know that the police came to Ossible's room just to grab Max, he thought there might be a balcony, and then he jumped off from the room. But there was no balcony. That shows Ossible's presence of mind. So even though his appearance doesn't show him as a secret agent, but his presence of mind showed him that he is. Next one, key characters. The very three characters. The first, protagonist Ossible, a secret agent, intelligent, quick-witted and resourceful. His physical appearance, here they have mentioned about it. His physical appearance, and contrary to stereotype image of a spy, uses his cleverness and calmness to oversmart Max. So when you just, on the contrary, when you look his appearance, you don't feel that he is a secret agent. But when you go through, when you read the story, you comes to know only because of his cleverness and the smartness and the presence of mind made him to just get out of that, of that situation, of the very situation. Max, a rival spy who lacks intelligence and easily persuaded, overconfident and underestimates Ossible, leading to his downfall. As it's mentioned, he is lack of intelligence, but he actually tried to oversmart and then underestimate this Ossible. That really made him to go towards his downfall. Then Fowler, a writer who expects an exciting adventure from Ossible, but is surprised by the turn of events. So Fowler is the one who is a writer. He really wants to collect all the exciting information and the adventures that Ossible went through, because as he is a secret agent, he must be having so much to tell about. Then key events. Fowler meets Ossible and is disappointed with his ordinary appearance. At first, Fowler, when he saw this Ossible as a secret agent, he didn't believe him. Why? Because of his very appearance. He was little fat and chubby, and then doesn't fit for to be called as a secret agent. And then Max breaks into Ossible's room, threatening him to hand over a confidential report. So here you could see that Max break into his room and then to hand over the confidential report. He is a spy. He just came there to steal the report. Ossible invents a story about a balcony outside the window to mislead Max. And then Max, believing the story, tries to escape through the window and falls to his death. At last, when he believed what Ossible said, he just made himself to jump from the room, and then he thought there might be a balcony, but it was not there. It was a made-up story by Ossible, and then he just find his death. Moral takeaway: wit and intelligence prevail. The story highlights that quick thinking and wit can overcome physical threat. So you should always have a calmness inside you when you are thinking about a set of conclusion when you really wants to come out of such situations. Do not underestimate others. Judging people by their appearance or demeanor can leads to underestimates their abilities. When you really see the appearance of someone and judge by their appearance, it will always makes you to have a wrong thought about them. So that shows that his underestimate towards his ability that's made Max to have the downfall. And then calmness in crisis. This shows Osibel's calmness. Even in the time of crisis, he was very calm and quiet. And then he just made a very big plot, very big master plan in his mind. And then that really made him to come out of it. Staying composed in a difficult situation can lead you effective problem solving person. So you should always have a kind of mentality of staying with calmness always in a time of crisis. So at last conclusion, you could see The Midnight Visitor is a humorous and engaging story that challenges stereotypes about spies and showcase the importance of intelligence and composed over the physical strength, that it leads readers with a valuable lesson on the power of wit and cleverness in overcoming challenges. So this very lesson shows you, gives a vivid explanation about how you're supposed to judge a person. You should never judge a person by their appearance. It always says that you should never judge a book by its cover. So here, Osibel is the apt example for that, and this story tells about it. So the questions from past years as a board examination that comes under who was in 2024 board exam, who was Henry? What role did he play in Osibel's plan? So you know that Henry, he is a French, he's actually a waiter in that hotel. He was a server at the French hotel where Osibel stayed. He knocked at the door, was mistaken by Max for a police, promoting Max to attempt an escape through the non-existing balcony, thereby aiding Osibel's plan. You should remember this name, because Osibel, Max, and then Fowler, Henry, these are the main four names which was portrayed in this. Oh, listen. So Henry is the person who came to serve his food, and then the Max just misthought that he might be a police, and then he just jumped out from his room. And then Osibel, presence of mind. Question: despite his unusual appearance, Osibel's presence of mind helped him get rid of Max. Command with reference to the story, The Midnight Visitor. Osibel thought not fitting a typical image of a secret agent, used his quick thinking to conquer a story about a balcony and the arrival of the police. This deception led Max to hastily exit through the window, believing there was a balcony which ultimately wasn't there. So, the very plan, the very plot, the very master plan of Osibel made him to, in the time of confusion and tension-filled status, he was very calm and quiet. That really made him to put a very big plot plan. So that really made Max to believe that, and then he just jumped from the room and he eventually died. In 2023 board exam, questions like how did Osibel's appearance mislead Max about his capacities as a secret agent? Osibel's unimposing and unassuming appearance led Max to underestimate him. However, Osibel's shape, intellect and strategic thinking enables him to outfit Max, demonstrating that appearance can be deceiving. So at last, you should know that, always appearance will be deceiving. You should not judge a person by their appearance. Only because of that, Max judged him and then just underestimate him by his looks. But inside, he was very clever, and then he knows how to act in a very situation. So these are the 6 markers and 3 markers from this very story. Next topic, we are going to move on Footprints Without Feet book, a supplementary reader. The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson. First, we'll see to the plot summary. Before that, we'll see the differentiate in these 2 butterflies, Viceroy butterflies and Monarch butterflies. This chapter is all about his scientific research. The main protagonist of the story is Richard E. Bright. His scientific research on viceroys, and monarchs. Yes, we'll move on to the plot summary. The story chronicles the lives of Richard E. Bright, a bright and curious child with an intense passion for learning. From the very small age, from his very basement, he was very curious about learning. So that's the very reason that he just become a great scientist. Ebright's journey begins with his fascination for butterflies and his habit of collecting them. With the support of his mother, who nurtures his curiosity and encourages him to explore, Ebright takes an interest in science. Through hard work, discipline, and consistency effort, Ebright engages in scientific experience, winning awards and recognition at various levels. His determination leads him to make him to find discoveries. So here you could see that when he was very small, his mother, she just gifted him a book called Travel X Monarch. So that book really made him to have fascinated towards, finding these two butterflies. And then one fine day when he was in his 9th grade, he just went he made a project in a science fair that he collected this viceroys and butterflies. He comes to know that in a certain period of time, this, the population of viceroy butterflies, it's decreasing. Why? Because they're called a special bird, starling. It used to eat this viceroy birds. Why? Because that tastes better when it compares to monarch butterflies. But these two look same, and this viceroys always copy monarchs. So he comes to know that this very particular time, this viceroys are just, their whole population is getting decreased. Why? Because the starling bird is eating them. So he secured the first place in the category of zoology for his very discovery on viceroys and monarchs. Discoveries including research and on the migration of monarch butterflies and working of cells. Eventually, Ebright's curious mind and scientific acumen paved the way of the success as a scientist. So that really made him to eventually succeed as a scientist, because his the only thing that really made him to go forward and achieve his way is his curious mind. Okay, the key characteristics first. These are the very protagonist of the story is Richard E. Bright and his mother, Richard's mother. Richard E. Bright, the protagonist, a curious, intelligent, and hardworking boy who aspires to become a scientist, displays a passion for science from an early age and dedicates himself for learning. He really made himself a very dedicated person to learn more about each things. He was not a kind of a playful kid that he used to have his, when you're very small, when you're in a childhood, your focus is only more often on playing and then having fun. But here you could see that he was so much interested into in the creative, finding things and exploring and experiencing different set of things. So that's why the learning, the love towards learning made him to find his passion as a scientist. So second one, the Rich's mother, a supportive and encouraging figure in Ebright's life, instilled curiosity in his mind, in him, by provoking books, research, and constant motivation. She is the real backbone of this boy. She is the one from the very small age. She encouraged him to do more and explore more on such things. She always provided him with books and research and constant motivation. That really made him to go forward and achieve his goal. Next, key events. Ebright's interest in collecting butterflies as a child sparked his love for science. So only because of collecting all this monarch and viceroy's butterfly, that really make him to spark the love towards science. His mother provides him with resources like, this is a very book you have to mention when you are writing a passage, Travel of Monarch X. This is the very book that she have gifted to him, so that he comes to know about the butterflies and its the color, the texture, and each and every minute thing of those butterflies. Ebright starts collecting experiences such as studying in a migration pattern of monarch butterflies. He participated in science fairs, wins award and gains recognition for his research. Ebright's groundbreaking discovery about the role of DNA in cells functioning earns him to acclaim in the scientific community. So at last, he didn't start. He didn't just end in his small age, but he started to go towards it and then dig deep more into that. All such research and everything. So that really made him to achieve and then won awards in science fair, and also he got so many scholarship regarding his invention, and then all the prizes and everything. So that really made him to have a groundbreaking one, that about his discovery about the DNA in cells. So that's the very basement of his invention made him to do more and have research and then to become a scientist. Moral and takeaway: curiosity and perseverance lead to success. Always, when you want to become a scientist, you should always have a curiosity, and a perseverance leads to success. The story shows that the curious mind and a consistent effort can achieve greatness. When you have a curious mind and then when you put all your efforts consistently, for sure you will achieve your goal. The role of support and encouragement: Ebright's mother's unwavering support plays a significant role in his journey, emphasizing the importance of nurturing talent. One of the main role in Ebright's life by his mother, she rolled a big role. Only because of her, she really motivated him to go deep, dive deep into research and analysis. So only because of her mother, he just achieved his goal. The power of learning from failure: Ebright's ability to learn from his mistakes and improve is a key factor in success. So when you read the whole story, you come to know that he was not a kind of person who always have a competitive personality. He really learned from his mistakes, and then he really want to go deep whatever he is having interest towards of his invention or of his research and everything. So he always learned from his mistakes. So these are the moral and takeaway. And then the last one: passion and dedication are key. The true success comes from following one's passion with dedication and hard work. So only by reading that book, Travel Monarch X, he was fascinated by the writer, and then that really made him to go towards it and then find his goal. So the dedication and hard work is more essential and more important. Conclusion: The Making of Scientist is an inspiring tale of how a curious and dedicated child become a successful scientist. The story encourages students to pursue their passion, work hard and never give up on their dreams. No matter the obstacles, it serves as a testament to the importance of curiosity, perseverance and guidance in achieving success. So it's not only about Ebright's life. When you have so much of curiosity about something, for sure you will achieve your goal and your dream. So that's the the very moral and takeaway it's given in the lesson. So never give up, work hard, have passion towards it, have a visionary towards what you're going to do and achieve in life. That's most important. That's the guidance and perseverance that he achieved to have a success. Okay, so next, moving on to the question bank. In 2024 board examination questions like justify how Ebright's mother played an important part in his in him becoming a scientist. The part of a mother's role in Ebright's life. Ebright's mother played an pivotal role in nurturing his scientific curiosity. She provides him with resources like microscopes, telescopes, cameras and other equipped to explore his interest. So she is the one behind all his success. She took him on trips, bought him books and encourages his participation in scientific competition, of which significantly contribute to his development as a scientist. So you could see that his mother was the one who really stand as a backbone, and then she really insists him to do all that, explore that and have experience on finding all such and having research towards it. So she is the one from the very small age she nurtured her son to have a successful mentality towards life. So that really made him as one of a successful scientist. So Ebright's curiosity, how can one say that Ebright's curiosity drive him to become a scientist? So you have to explain how his curiosity just made him to drives him towards success. Ebright's unstable curiosity lets him to various scientific phenomena from a young age. His interest in collecting butterflies involved in a deeper investigation into their migration pattern and life cycle. The curiousness propelled him to conduct experiments and engage in scientific research, laying the foundation of his future career as a scientist. So he really have so much of curiosity in life to know about when it comes to particular thing. When he wants to have a look and research on something, he will dive deep into it, and then he research every part of it. So that really made him to come as a successful scientist. That's the the apt answer you're supposed to write for the question. So 2023 board exam, how did the book become a turning point in Richard Ebright's life? I hope you remember the book, Travel Monarch X. That's very important. The book, Travel Monarch X, ignited Ebright's interest in the scientific study of butterflies. It just made the turning point in Ebright's life, opened his eyes to the vast world of research and led him to correspond with Dr. Ukhand. Ukhand is the person who is the the author of the very book Travel Monarch X, a leading expert. This connection and the knowledge gained from the book were instrumental in shaping his scientific pursuit. That really made him to dig more and go into it. And the next question, what rare achievement did Richard manage at the age of 22? So what was the very rare achievement in the age of, when he was very young? What was the achievement he did? At the age of 22, Richard Ebright co-authored an article in a prestigious scientific journal, Proceeding of a National Academy of Science, a significant accomplishment for someone so young. So you're supposed to quote all the awards, and then which particular year, what are the awards, the name of the award. You have to specific all that when a type of questions are asked. You're not supposed to explain only the summary part, but along with that, you're supposed to mention his academic achievements in terms of science. So 2022 board examination, the questions like ingredients in making of a scientist. What is the special ingredients you're supposed to add to make a scientist, a good scientist? Is what are the ingredients in making of a scientist? The essential ingredients in making of scientist includes the first, rare mind. It's very important to have a rare mind, curiosity, and then will to pursue for the right reason. For what you have to do that, you should have a right perspective of what you're going to achieve. It's not about debating, or in a competitive world you should think that I have to go front and then do it. It's not his mentality. He learned from his own mistakes. That's what we learn from the story. So the perseverance for the right reason, these qualities drives an individual to explore, experience, and push the boundaries of knowledge. So these comes under 6 marks. When it comes to supplementary reader, you have to mention all the specific, the date, the awards, the author, the book, and everything. So it's very important to mention it. Thank you.